Now, this is one of my favorite stories that I get to tell about you. I introduced you to your husband, Val.
Yes.
Who, for those of you who don't know, was a hockey star in the NHL. So how many years have you guys been together now?
We've been married. We've been together 29 years. We've been married 27. It'll be 28 really soon.
Wow. And I can remember that day. I want to go back to that day at the charity hockey game at the Forum.
Thanks for Candace.
Thanks for Candace. I'm going to tell that story too. We went to the Forum in LA, and it was you, me, Bob, and Lori, right? Mm-hmm. And we went to the charity hockey game, and you tell the story. I mean,
was John there or was John not there?
John
was not there.
But I had played kind of a scrimmage with them.
Yeah.
With Val and his brother Pavel.
Yeah.
We had played in a scrimmage the day before, and they said, you know, we learned how to speak English by watching Full House in reruns. And I was like, that is fantastic. And they were like, how are the girls? And I was like, they're good. And I said, I can invite them to the game, and their eyes lit up. Because I think Pavel was like attracted to Lori, and Val was just goo-goo about you. And so we went to the game. So take it.
I
take it
remember
away.
You said, like, do you want to go to the game? And there are these two really nice Russian hockey players that are really good. And you were going to, said, I'll introduce you to them. And I'm like, okay. And I was like, Lori, are you going? And she goes, yeah, I'll go. So I'm like, okay, great. If we all go together, I'll go. And Lori and I sat at that game kind of up by the glass, and we were watching you and Bob. It was funny, but then we kept going, okay, Bure, looking for the jersey, you know. Right. And then I was like, oh, I like the one with the blonde hair, because it was like flowing out from under the helmet and the breeze was hitting it. And I'm like, oh, that's a good mullet. So
it's a good mullet. You heard it here. Okay.
So yeah, we met backstage, and you introduced me to both
That's
of
the
them.
locker room. That's not backstage.
That's the locker room.
Yeah, hockey players. Yeah, I'm going backstage. You want to go? Yeah.
Val tells me that every time. I'm like, yeah, the locker room. So we met, and then it was like, oh, there was that kind of the after party where there was food. And
it was a banquet.
A meet and greet after.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. So we said, oh, we'll go meet you there. Well, we were there. We kind of had some food, and we hung out, and enough time went by, and I never saw them.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, well, we're ready to leave. So as we were going down the escalator, up were coming Val and Pavel. And we were like, wait. So they hopped on the escalator and went back down.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And Val asked for my number, and I gave it to him. And then he called me the next morning at like 10 a.m. and was like, do you want to go to lunch? And I said, hold on, let me call you back. And I called Lori, and I go, he invited me to lunch. I've never been on a date with someone that I don't know before. Do you want to come to lunch with me? And she was like, well, sure, I'll go with you. So I said, can Lori come too? And Val said, sure, I'll see if my brother wants to come then. And so the four of us went to lunch the next day in Santa Monica.
Yeah. I remember when I saw you two lock eyes. It was like Lady and the Tramp when they both get the piece of spaghetti and they look at each other.
He was so cute.
Yeah.
So cute.
Yeah. I had a hunch. You know, I don't know what it was, but then you become the wife of a hockey player. And it was just
you were so proud, Dave.
I really was.
Yeah.
I really was, you know, because my experience in life is hockey guys are just good guys.
Yeah.
They're just good guys. They're down to earth. They're just, you know, even though they're stars in their profession, there's just kind of a down to earth kind of good guy
for sure.
feeling about a lot of hockey players. So I was like, she's in good hands, you know?
Do you remember we took a picture for People magazine, and it was the Valentine's edition, and it was like
tree.
Cupid.
I was in a tree with an arrow, with
bow and
wings.
arrow, and Val and I were.
You guys are lovebirds down in the little love seat down there. Yeah. Yes, I do remember that. But you guys moved around a lot, right? Because Val played in Montreal when you first met, Calgary,
briefly,
Florida.
Yeah, Florida.
Because I visited you guys in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing a club date down there, and I came over to your house. Yeah. And I don't know how old the kids were, or if the kids...
They were all born, because Max was born in Florida.
Okay, all right. And then he played in St. Louis and Dallas.
And then briefly LA, but
yeah,
but kind of not. He signed with
Right.
LA and then
Yeah.
had a career-ending injury in preseason.
How the heck did you manage that, moving around with 3 kids? I mean,
Some
that's
of
a
it's
challenge.
I know. Some of it's a blur, but that's when I took time off from acting. Like I didn't
Right.
act for 10 years. And
I
that's
know.
once I had my kids, I was like, okay, I'm full-time mom and supporting my husband's career
Yeah.
to go to games and cheer him on. So you just do it. Like all the ladies, we just do it.
You're so good. You're just a good soul. You're just a good soul, Poo-Poo.
Thank you.
I want to talk about this phase of your life because I find it
Okay.
extremely interesting, and I'm so proud of you and so happy for you. And it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. Someone you love, seeing them do really
Yeah.
well, and you're so passionate about what you do. Because what we just talked about, you go from being a wife and a mom, and then you suddenly come back into show business, which I wasn't sure if you were ever going to. I was like, oh, Candace has a really nice life.
Yeah.
She's got 3 really nice kids and a husband, but you came back.
Yep.
What brought you back?
Truthfully, I've loved the industry and I credit you, Bob, and John, and Jeff Franklin, and I mean, hundreds of other people who were our Full House family. But you guys gave us the best experience. And I know there's tons of horror stories out there. And I am so empathetic and feel for everyone that has had a bad experience. Like it breaks my heart.
Yeah.
However, I am so grateful and blessed that those aren't our stories. And it made me want to stay in the business. So I took a break because I wanted to raise my kids. But I always had the desire that if the doors would open again when it felt like the right time to come back, that I would. And
Because 10 years is a long time.
I know.
And people forget like that.
Totally.
You know, but you did it. I mean, was Dancing with the Stars kind of the first big thing that ushered you back? I'm trying to remember.
Well, I actually was on this show for 3 years on ABC Family called Make It or Break It.
Right.
That was about gymnastics. And that was kind of like, I had done a couple of Hallmark movies, and then I was on that show for 3 years.
Yeah.
And then some more Hallmark movies.
Was that here in LA? Was
Yes.
that okay?
Yeah,
that was
it was
all
in LA.
Okay,
It was in LA.
all right.
So we had actually moved back
So you
once
were
Val
here in
retired
LA. Okay,
from
all right.
hockey.
Okay.
And that was also the tipping point. Val retired from hockey, which then allowed us to come back to LA. And then I would say that Dancing with the Stars is what put me back on the map in homes like every week for that period of time. And it's such a massive, huge show. And I love that show so much.
Yeah, I watched you.
Yeah.
I could never do that.
Things kind of, I wish that you would, but we've talked about this so many times and I know you don't want to.
I know, because I'm not a dancer.
I loved it.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Full House Rewind. We'll see you next week.